Here they're getting a lot of space, and I think the state governments, as I said before, they've got to step up and say, okay, we're going to target hate talk, we're going to target hate crimes, and we're going to do it very aggressively and stop it now before it gets out of hand.
Lee, you mentioned that you're in Victoria, which has really been an epicentre of so many of these big debates. What are you hearing from the people, the LGBTQIA+ people that you're working with, and why do you think this is something that we're seeing with that greater prevalence in Melbourne?
Yeah, there's always a range of responses. You know, on the one side, you know, talking to lots of LGBTIQA+ people who are feeling, you know, afraid, who are, you know, worried about their safety, who aren't sure, you know, where is safe for me to go, and maybe I shouldn't go out tonight. Like maybe tonight's going to be the night where I go to the city, and on the train back, you know, if someone starts talking to me or giving me a hard time or is violent towards me, is anyone else going to stand up and protect me? But I think, as Courtney's already alluded to, I feel like as a community we are strong and proud and resilient, and we're used to standing together and fighting for our rights. And so often you move from that to the other side, which is, you know what, we're not going to let this small rabble of right-wing bigots tell us that we can't be who we are. You know, and I love seeing, you know, so many of the protests and the ways that LGBTIQA+ folks in Melbourne are, you know, continuing to show up in strength, to, you know, be who we are, to wear our colours, and just to be fabulous. And I think, you know, why Melbourne? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, if I had to speculate, I think something to do with the anti-lockdown protests, because we had, you know, more severe COVID lockdowns in Melbourne, and then we saw that strong backlash, and then we saw the, you know, what we started to see was, you know, these kind of very right-wing, you know, neo-Nazi groups kind of start mobilising around these protests. And so now when we're starting to see that continue, like, I think there could be a connection there. But you know, we were talking before about, you know, hate crimes, and really the link between hate speech and hate crime is really clear. You know, when you allow hateful, threatening, intolerant speech to go unchecked, then it escalates into violence. And that's the thing that I think we all want to stop. Like, we really need to make sure that we're taking this seriously and that we're not ceding ground to hateful extremists.